The capital of Austin, Texas, and we are starting to take pictures of our vacation at this point. This is as you go in to the Capitol building, this is statues that are there. It's different men of the southern part showing part of the Confederacy. And I will pan around, see if there's anything else to be noticed. Bring this one, and I don't know what this one is, but it's the lone soldier. It looks like the lone Confederate soldier of Texas. It's not a soldier of Georgia, it is a volunteer fireman. There's several other monuments outside the Capitol building in Austin, Texas. This statue is in honor of the men who died at the Alamo. Monument is in honor of the Confederate Rangers that protected the Confederacy. And as you look down around here on both sides of this walk, they have a flank by cannons. And as I am panning around, you can see the entrance into the state capitol building. And Austin is celebrating its 102nd year this year. Down from Austin's state building onto the city of Austin, Texas. And I will just pan. You can tell it's early morning. I don't want to get into the sunlight. Statue in memory of the World War I veterans, Department of Texas, and it says God, Country, and Peace. Building from the other side, and I will pan down.
Honda in the state capitol, Austin. This is the tallest capitol. It's even larger than the one in Washington, D.C., and I am looking straight up. Try to capture this. It comes down. There goes Mary. It's okay. Five minutes after 9. I have no idea whether this will come out or not, but this says the Republic of Texas. This is right in the middle of the rotunda.
And it depicts the 13th and final day of the battle. The name standing up here is William Barrett Travis. He was first in command of our Texas forces. And down here is Davy Crockett, who was second in command. He's fighting with what's left of old Betsy, trying to beat off the Mexican soldier. Down here is James Bowie, who was third in command. But he wasn't actually present in fighting in the battle because he was sick with pneumonia at the time and dying in the chapel. The artist felt like he was fighting with spirits, so he chose to include the painting. Okay, and the building with the flag on top of the chapel, which is the only remaining building of the Alamo. And then directly in the center is a red Mexican flag being tossed. The red stands for no quarter, which meant no prisoner could be taken alive. 183 Texans died in this battle. There are only 3 survivors. All 3 of them were civilians. There were Susanna Dickinson, her daughter Angelina, and William Barrett Travis' servant Joe. Joe ran off a few days after the battle, though, so the artist relied mainly on an interview with Mrs. Dickinson to get what took place during the battle. This is mainly her viewpoint of how everything happened. And we did lose this battle. The painting is subtitled The Moral Victory, and that's because it gave us enough time to gather more troops and go on to San Jacinto, which is in the painting right over here. 2 weeks after the Battle of the Alamo, and San Jacinto is a small peninsula land located just southwest of Houston. It was surrounded on 3 sides by marshes and bayous, and the Mexican army had camped out on the peninsula and had planned to use the bridge to escape off of it in case the Texas army attacked from the land side, which is exactly what happened. And you can see how the Mexican army is running up this way towards the bridge. Now right here, he was a spy for the Texas army. He was deaf in one ear, and that's how he got his nickname, Deaf Smith. And he was a spy for the Texans. He was able to get behind the enemy lines and find out where the Mexican army had camped out and what time they took their siesta every day, which was about 3 o'clock. So the Texans attacked about 3:30 and surprised the Mexican army. And in the meantime, Captain Smith destroyed the bridge that the Mexican army was going to use as an escape. So thanks to him, this is the shortest battle in U.S. history. It lasted only 18 minutes. Up here on horseback, in front of the tent, is General Santa Anna. And over here, waving his hat in the air and calling the battle cry, is Sam Houston. The battle cry was Remember the Alamo. Now the only accuracy that we know from these 2 paintings is the blue battle flag right here. This is the battle flag of San Jacinto, and this isn't what it really looks like. It disappeared right after the battle, and no one could remember what it looked like to tell MacArthur how to paint it. And around the turn of the century, it turns out that a man from Kentucky, who was a volunteer general in this battle, it turns out he'd taken it home as a souvenir home to Kentucky, and around the turn of the century, his granddaughters found it in their attic and returned it to him. And so we now have it in our House of Representatives, and we'll be seeing that in just a minute. Thanks to you.
Looking at the floor of the rotunda. I tried to take this a while ago.
A UT art student designed the carpet back there, and I think it's kind of neat just because all the wool used to make it was donated by the Texas Sheep and Goat Growers. Sheep and Goat Growers Association. And this carpet here, this is a duplicate of the original carpet, and they found an old picture of LBJ's father, who was the state rep here, and he was standing by his desk, and they were able to blow it up and then through this.
This is the hall down through the Capitol in Austin, Texas. That light at the other end may hinder me, so I'm going to step off to the side a little bit and see if we can get these doors as they go down through here, the tops of them. I'll try to get this one closer. This says, to the fighting men of the 36th Infantry Division, dedicated and erected September the 9th, 1959.
This is for the Spanish-American War veterans, 1898 to 1902, from the Philippine Islands, Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the United States.
Everywhere you go, they let you know you're in Texas. They even got stars on the picket fences. This is the governor's mansion.
There it went. I don't know that that one's going to take. It just barely collapsed.
And it's right across the street from the Capitol. These surveillance cameras everywhere. Again, because of stars, people steal them. I don't know if I can get this whole building in. It is enormous. This is one of the rooms. This is just to give you an idea. They actually live here. They actually live upstairs. They don't live in this quarters.
And this one's used on a daily basis.
Austin, as you can see, is a pretty good-sized little town. That ain't a town, it's a good-sized city. Yeah, I'm trying to shade this picture with a tree because the sun's laying right behind it. There's the governor's mansion. This is 11th and Colorado Boulevard. I don't know why they didn't name it Texas. Everything else is. This is even made into a star. It's out in the garden. I don't see any insignia on it. You know you're in Texas. As I said before, there's stars on everything. And there goes Mary. This is a rest stop. Most of them in Texas are like this. This is on 35 between Austin and San Antonio. And as you can see, they're open. The roof doesn't cover the whole building at all, and when you're inside, it only covers where the stools are. So I guess they figure it never freezes here or something. See, the roof doesn't even come out to the outside. Now, most of them in Texas have been like this. They did stop that. It's nice otherwise. Well, it's nice there too, as far as that's concerned.